Welcome back to the ADCC Update Show, aka the Alley Cats Anonymous, the last show on the internet. We're officially the last one still out there doing it. And this year you got the boys with you. I'm Trey Robinson. We got Uncle Corey over here. We got Papa Reed on my left. Joey Stats over there behind the computer screen. All right, let's everybody give it up. Another episode, baby. Woo!
That's it. We done?
One more episode.
That's right.
We did it. They said we couldn't do it.
Yeah, so today, no guest in studio, you know, just the boys. I was listening to the comments, and they said, man, the show's so much better with an in-guest studio. And I was like, how can we make it even better? We'll just have the boys come in here, and we're all in-guest studios.
You got the fire
on our own shows, yeah.
The fire behind you going, you know, looks nice. Just a little fireside chat about ADCC.
Exactly.
It'd be a good one.
So I think today we're gonna run through all the divisions as they stand on today, July 1st. What are we, 47 days out, Corey?
Yeah, 47 days till ADCC, 47 days till T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas.
That's right. August 17th and 18th is going to be here soon.
And what, all the divisions are not closed officially, but some of the divisions are
Yeah, we're closing
full?
up. I think there's like 2 spots remaining in ADCC total. So almost every division now completely full. We know who's in at 66, 77, 88. All the women's divisions are waiting on like 2 spots to fill up, and we're done.
Is plus 99, they're the only one with spots?
I think plus 99. I think there's a minus 99 spot as well.
Okay.
We're closing in.
Okay, gotcha.
47 days, still
yeah.
plenty of time for, you know, more chaos to ensue. So
Definitely.
but,
The way I
time for
have
a lot
it
of stuff
here,
to go down.
yeah, but this
there's
is
2 spots left at plus 99, 2 spots left at minus 99.
Okay, gotcha. Well, either way, we're gonna run through the divisions. We took some screenshots from our website. On our website, obviously, we have the every athlete currently invited to ADCC list. So make sure you guys are checking that. Go to FloGrappling.com to stay up to date with all the ADCC news out there. But let's just kick it off in the 66 kilogram division. This is a division that really hasn't changed much this year. It's pretty rock solid from the start till now. I think if you guys want to, we could go around and just kind of talk about some of the people who stand out to us in this division. Some of the favorites, maybe some dark horses, some disruptors, if you will, that could come in and steal the show. Like, I think obviously you got to start with Diogo Hayes, the returning 66 kilogram champion, who last year, I don't even know what category he would have been in. Maybe a disruptor. I don't know. Not a lot of people, I don't think, were picking him to win except for one guy. One little freaking guy who had his crystal ball, could see into the future, named Trey freaking Robinson, baby. I picked Baby Shark.
you called it?
Yeah, I called it.
Yeah, I remember.
Never officially on paper or anything, but I told you guys. So,
Yeah.
so who else are you guys kind of looking at in this division? Obviously, Diogo, I think, got to be the favorite as returning champ.
Yeah, I mean, after the couple of years he's had since ADCC2, you got to call out Pato might be. I mean, Diogo is the guy, but Pato is a scary guy in this division, right? I mean, we don't see a lot of his wrestling, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have it. When Pato is forced to wrestle, he wrestles well, and then his leg locks are just on another level. And what we saw him do to Fabricio a couple weeks ago shows Pato's got everything. He's got the top game, he's got the bottom game, he's got the wrestling. He's going to be dangerous here.
100%. I think Diogo is like, obviously he's like, you're probably a little shaking in your boots if you have Diogo first round because he's so good. But if you have Pato first round, you're probably like calling to double check your insurance and like you're actually scared. Like Pato's like, I would say the most like genuinely scary dude in the division.
Got a knee pad up. And and remind me again, I can't remember. What happened, Pato, in 2022? He lost to Gabriel?
He lost to Gabriel in the semifinal and then beat Josh Cisneros in the bronze medal match.
So placed third last time. And it seemed like last time, like, he wasn't even really a no-gi guy yet. Like, he was just kind of starting to dip his toe in. And then now it feels like he's full head first in no-gi guy. Like, maybe maybe the best leg locker, like,
dude, I would say
on this division list. Obviously, Ethan and Keith are really good leg lockers. But, man, it's like Pato has put some people out.
No, I would say that, beyond just best leg locker in the division, Pato might be the best leg locker in the sport right now.
Yeah.
I think after his match with Dante, like him being able to finish Dante like that with the leg lock, it's like, oh
crazy.
shit, okay, yeah, Pato might be. He has a case for number one top tier leg locker right now.
I mean, and he had that Kennedy match at ADCC last time too, where he Z-locked Kennedy, and he was kind of popularized the Z-lock. Haven't seen too much Z-lock these days now, come to think about it, but
no. Kind of phased in and phased out real quick.
Yeah.
This division's interesting because we did just get to see a little bit of a preview with 66 at the last Who's Number One. So we saw a couple potential ADCC matchups go down on under Who's Number One rules. We saw Fabricio and Pato, where Pato was able to get the sub, but it was a very back and forth match. Honestly, there were some minutes where like Fabricio almost took Pato's back, like had some all near passes, like. Looked pretty. I mean, it was a sick match all around.
Yeah.
And then we saw Ethan and DeAndre Corby, where Ethan was able to win on a decision. How much? I guess do you guys think like a match under Who's Number One rules is kind of telling for how potentially things could play out at ADCC?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, the rules are different, but I think at this phase, we're less than 60 days out, everybody's treating every competition like an ADCC preparation, right?
Yeah.
So DeAndre pulled guard. We didn't get to see too much wrestling, but I think they're all kind of thinking ADCC points in their head, ADCC rules in their head, and really like testing out their preparation at Who's Number One or wherever they're competing. So I'm inspired by how good Ethan looks, especially against a tough guy like DeAndre. I'm inspired by the way Pato looks, obviously, but even Fabricio, like you said, looked great. He
did.
He passed Pato's guard, which is something that not a lot of people can say.
Multiple times he passed that guard.
Yeah,
Best float passing, best loose passing in the game right now. We're talking about best leg locker, maybe Pato. Best loose passing might be Fabricio. It's so like just aesthetically pleasing to watch him navigate the guard. He's so fast. He's so strong.
Smooth, slick. Like, and I feel like maybe Who's Number One matches are just going to be a little bit longer. So it actually kind of makes me interested for that rematch under ADCC rules.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily.
15 minutes,
if it's a finals match or anything like. But so I guess that those two guys probably wouldn't hit until later on in the tournament. But
sorry, I don't know what's going on. My freaking earpiece just destroyed my ear.
Oh wow!
It's like
I saw you look
here.
over at me and
Dude,
like give me like a really big surprise.
No, it's like literally like shocking me or something right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'll try
somebody else I want to call.
I'll try to work through the adversity for you guys at home. I want you to know that freaking it's all hard,
it's
baby.
the Zins
All
we
hard,
got
baby.
in.
Trey doesn't know I got a shock button here.
Yeah.
I've just been hitting him.
This
That'd be
shit's
a great
brutal.
podcast prank. Yeah, we set it up with Big Dan with his tasers, which, by the way, apparently he keeps losing, so there's just tasers around Austin, Texas at this point.
I just saw he bought one of those little, those tiny little Asian trucks, you know? I forget what they're called. Tyler from FloWrestling once won.
Oh, yeah.
He just bought one of those.
Oh, like the ones that the Roots
It's
have
like an
there?
But smaller. like a bongo, but smaller.
Which is crazy with him, by the way.
100%.
Somebody I want to call out in this division while we're still here is Kennedy Maciel, 2019 silver medalist. Has had an incredible 2024. He's looked so dialed in, winning 3 out of 4 majors in the gi. I think he is somebody who it's going to be nuts. And what we have to look forward to because of the way ADCC sets everything up is probably Kennedy Fabricio second round. Right? That's
That'd be
gonna
so
that's
sick.
true.
That's going to be so sick. They're both Lions.
Underrated moment there from Worlds that didn't quite play out there when Kennedy was on the mat after having doing little shaky fingers and Fabricio being like right here, right now. It's unfortunate that didn't hit, just for the fan perspective because that was fun. But hopefully that hits at ADCC. It probably has a good chance since
they would both
Alliance, both
Alliance. They would have to hit no later than the quarterfinals.
One thing I want to kind of call out about Kennedy, because I've been really kind of astonished this year. If you remember, he got his leg snapped by Pato in 2022 and was out of commission for almost an entire year, maybe more than an entire year.
That's not an exaggeration when you say his leg snapped. That's what happened.
We didn't see him again until Nogi Worlds, and he looked good at Nogi Worlds, but his real I'm back and better than ever was that match at Aiga against Gabriel Souza. Mm-hmm. And since then, he has been just on fire. He won Euros, he won Pans, he won Brasileiro,
Trials.
Yeah, he won Trials, and he looked incredible at Trials. I think he submitted 3 of 5 and just dominated the 2 guys he didn't submit. So Kennedy looks probably better than he ever has, save his 2022 ADCC run, 2019 ADCC run. Yeah.
No, I agree. Kennedy's definitely one of these guys who can really mix things up. Obviously Gabriel Souza as well, and Pato and Diogo. Those are kind of your top 3 guys, just because those are the guys that are the returning medalists. But Kennedy, I totally agree, has looked better than ever, especially Nogi wise.
Now,
What a beast.
if we're gonna get into like disruptor territory and talk
Dibs.
about dudes who you said you called dibs,
Yeah.
who do you got dibs on? For?
I mean, there's the one guy, right? We all want dibs on him.
yeah, I don't know.
Who is it? Who are you calling dibs for?
I was gonna call dibs on Dorian.
Yeah, that's the guy.
100%. He is the disruptor. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It's still like, I don't know, a lot of mystery around Dorian, obviously,
yeah.
training in his garage with his dad. He's a wrestler, spent some time at B Team. Now I think he's training with New Wave some. But, I mean, he just seems like a dude that you do not want to have to compete against. He's so young. He's so athletic.
Yeah.
He will just put his face in the middle of your body and just keep going side to side until finally he finds himself in north-south.
And 66 is a young division, right?
Yeah.
It's just like historically one of the younger divisions, and it seems like is this true? Every year there's like a new champion for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Ever since Hoffa, right?
Yeah, ever
Hoffa was
since-
the last guy to go back to back.
I mean, I guess Cobrinha, of course,
Cobrinha,
is the anomaly there. What a G Cobrinha is, but it's just such a young division, young man's game, so fast and everything like that. It's like you look at guys like Josh Cisneros and Keith Kikorian. They're young men as well, but like they're sort of like the veterans now of this division. Ethan, is the kind of straight veteran.
And Dorian is like in a different way fearless. Like, do you remember his face after East Coast Trials?
Yeah, yeah.
Had a
Like he was
big
in
black
an
eye,
Black
had a
and
cut
blue.
under his eye. I'm gonna predict somebody gets their face cut open in a Dorian match. I don't know who it is, but like Dorian goes head
pretty-
first
oh, yeah.
into
He's
everything.
He's just a bad matchup for everybody, kind of. He's just that physicality, that wrestler. He's not going to play guard. He's taking top no matter what. Like, he's just a bad matchup, kind of for almost everybody there.
He's kind of in that space where Baby Shark was before the last ADCC. You know what I mean? Where you just kind of look at him, you're like, I don't really know who beats this guy in like an ADCC style wrestling match.
For sure.
There's
Except
another-
for my boy Garbag.
Yeah, there's another
Garbag.
disruptor up there,
That's
and
a-
that's Garbag.
100%. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna pick Dorian over Garbag. I'll just be honest. I think Dorian would win. I'll say it. But I do think Garbag proposes an interesting task for someone like him. He's got that Russian wrestling roots. Probably pretty nasty. Also, potentially looks the oldest. Whether I don't know how old he actually is, but
I think he's only like 23 too. Yeah, he's like a super young
got
guy.
a weathered look. So I think that could be an interesting one. Owen Jones, also a disruptor I would put in the mix. I feel like this podcast has became pretty big Owen Jones fans, whether it be from when we visited him in London, shot a Fix My Game with Corey. You guys can go watch that now on FloGrappling on the YouTube channel as well. It's really good. Owen Jones, like I know he was just a guest. Hopefully everybody watched that and learned some stuff about him. But he's just such a surprisingly cerebral guy. Like that's I feel like always my take. But I also just like his mentality of just like, no, I like when people say I'm strong or whatever. Just like sometimes you just got to beat a dude up. And I think Owen Jones could get in the mix and kind of disrupt some people in this one as well.
Owen, a fan favorite. I feel like, you don't always have to win ADCC to come out of ADCC a star, and like Owen has that energy to me. Not to say that he can't win, of course he can, but sometimes like the Heisums and the Eddie Bravos and the Craig Joneses and everything like that. It's like sometimes you don't have to win ADCC to become a star. So like keep that in mind, right? Like when you're out there. But obviously Owen's just an exciting dude. So
Definitely. Anybody else stand out on this one to you guys?
I'm interested in seeing what Josh Cisneros does. We haven't seen a whole lot of him since ADCC either. I know he's been, he's done a couple competitions here and there, but not as active as he was back in like the 2021-22 era when we were seeing him, seems like every weekend. But I'm really curious what the camp has looked like for him. And, Josh is a great wrestler. Josh comes from a wrestling family. That always helps guys in ADCC, and now he's a seasoned veteran at ADCC. He took 4th in 2022, beat a couple of really good guys. So Josh could, I think, turn a lot of heads.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So obviously a super stacked division, an exciting division. Where would you rank this division, Corey, on most exciting to least exciting division?
I'm biased. I feel like the guys at 45 don't always get the attention from the masses, and I'm a 45, 55 guy. So I like this as the division that seems to me is the most solid division right now at ADCC. It's definitely up there for me.
And there's 5, 6, 7, 8, guys who could win this division. And so it really is wide open,
Definitely. All right, let's go to now to the 77 kilogram division. So obviously another absolutely stacked division, head to tippy toe, just like pretty much every division at ADCC. But this one has been shaken up a little bit more. You know, some different people ended up with invites and everything throughout the course of this year. But who do you guys see kind of as a favorite here? The returning champ Cade Ruotolo will not be there this time, so it does kind of create a weird element, you know, where it's like, damn,
Going to be a new champion.
exactly, yeah,
There will be a new champion. Well, I guess not, you know, somebody like Davi Ramos is back in the mix, could win it again.
for sure.
But,
JT,
got to look at Mika Galvao as the guy to win this division. Just got finished up with an IBJJF run where he won the Grand Slam, winning all 4 majors. Now he's trying to complete the Super Grand Slam. He would be the youngest to ever do that, second ever, only behind Cobrinha to do it. Mika's been absolutely on fire. He looks like the guy. Some really tough guys like Dante and PJ obviously in the mix, but I think the conversation has to start there.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, the silver medalist to now kind of be considered the favorite in this division. So I'd probably agree with that. Also, just Mika's been looking so incredible. Dude.
Yeah.
He's been on an absolute tear this year. He went from not even knowing if he was going to compete at IBJJF Euros in the gi, he wasn't sure, to dominating the Grand Slam. To be honest, kind of the hottest thing throughout this entire gi season. Now straight into ADCC, but along the way he's gotten the WNO 170-pound belt. He's won a bunch of incredible matches. So yeah, definitely Mika.
One of the things about Mika too that I think stirs this any division he would be in, stirs it up, is, you know, you look at preparing for ADCC and you think, okay, I got to work on my wrestling, I got to work on this, I got to prioritize staying on top, and like you strategize for ADCC. Mm-hmm. But if you get Mika first round, or you have to plan for Mika, you're not strategizing for ADCC rules. You're trying to beat that guy.
For sure.
Like, it's a whole different thing when you're trying to beat the guy that just, you know, throws an armbar out of everywhere or takes everybody's back. Like, that's not preparing for the ADCC rule set. That's preparing for a match with Mika. So these guys at 77 now have 2 things to worry about. I've got to do an ADCC bracket, and I might hit Mika.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like kind of seeing it up on the board here and just see all the names. Like, this is just such a crazy division. Mateusz Jasinski in there, dude. Like, Wagner Hosha could win this whole thing, you know? Like,
Sure.
Zach Bayens is going to be big for the weight.
Not to mention,
I can't believe Azak is going 7.
That's crazy.
I was
That
pretty
is crazy.
surprised by that.
They got the legend Gary Tonin coming
I was about to say,
back.
we haven't talked about Gary Tonin yet. Making his return, obviously been focusing on an MMA career, multiple-time ADCC medalist at Worlds. Has proudly held the nickname the most exciting grappler in the world.
Exactly.
For a reason. Right?
And he's like genuinely one of the best grapplers out there. You might have forgotten. You know, he maybe had a tough weight cut in 2022 and didn't look the best, but 77 probably.
That's a nice way to put it. He didn't look the best. Like, yeah, he looked like so drawn out and sucked out at 66.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, Sam McNally's a tough guy too, for sure.
Sam McNally's super tough.
77 is where he's had some of his best success, right?
Yeah,
he had that match
exactly.
he had the match with Con Gracie. He had, you know, the 2019 run where he medaled. He had the 2017 run where he medaled.
Yeah. Yep. No, like this could be just the thing for Gary Tonin, to be honest. And there's a lot of guys I think he matches up super well with, to be honest. Like, even, you know, I would love to see him and JT again hit. You know, that's kind of a legacy match that they've kind of hit a whole bunch of ADCCs and stuff. But for me, number 2, like kind of right behind Mika, I think, is a guy who's fought Mika kind of a bunch of times and probably given Mika his toughest test.
I call dibs.
Okay.
All right, that's kind of your guy.
I
You
got
can-
dibs.
Hey, you got me.
You can
You
I
got
got
me.
dibs.
You got me.
You were gonna say Dante?
I was gonna say Dante.
I got dibs on him, dude. I got Dante. I was gonna
dibs
say
Dante?
I was gonna say the next dude that I was gonna pick because he's fought Mika a lot. We've seen him, you know, medal at ADCC. He's looked incredible. He went down to 155 a little bit this year, but now, you know, Dante doesn't mess around when it comes to pushing plates, baby. You know,
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
some big weight. Ronnie Coleman up in there, big weight, baby. Ain't nothing but a peanut. Dante Leon. So I think Dante's gonna come in jacked. He's gonna come in really strong, and yeah, I think that I call dibs. So Dante's my next favorite guy.
Dude, he's had 2 kind of controversial matches with Mika,
sure.
like
ADCC and WNO.
WNO. Yeah, it's like, so for a guy Mika who is very decisive, doesn't have controversial matches, doesn't have 2 controversial matches, too many. Although I know, you know, whatever. But
Well, you want to kind of recap, because I feel like I think there's a high churn with jiu-jitsu fans where, you know, it's like maybe we have a ton of fans right now who are going to be locked in watching this year, but they don't know everything that happened at 2022. You want to kind of recap what happened
Like
at
the
2022
points going
ADCC?
up, points coming
yeah,
off.
it's just a crazy match there. I don't know if it was a sweep or a takedown. I forget exactly what.
It was a takedown.
A takedown. And then, yeah, that's right. Maybe it was a takedown. And then
Turtle to pull.
Mika went turtle and then pull, but it was kind of quick.
And they had already given Dante.
They'd already given Dante 2 points. And then, so Dante was up winning up until the last 20 seconds of the match. They took the points away. So it kind of changed the outcome of the match a little bit. Not exactly sure what happened. Obviously, Dante just one of the best sports in the game, so he didn't make a stink about it too much.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a wild situation where it felt like maybe we should have just ran back the last 5 minutes of the match and it would have been different. Mm-hmm. But
because obviously you get points put on the board and now you're playing a different game than if Dante still thinks he's down. He's like, oh shit, okay, I have to pass. I have to, force something, where as opposed to not having points. But I think one distinction about that with ADCC is IBJJF, it's the ref out there who's given the points and everything.
Yeah.
The table gives the points for ADCC, so they can also litigate some of that stuff, and they realize based on our rules we got to pull those points back off, which I don't necessarily I do think Mika played it well and he did turtle, and I don't know if he should have gotten the points or not, to be honest. I'm not a judge, but
yeah.
I think just putting it up and then taking it back off kind of screwed him. And so I do think Dante could be back for a vengeance.
Yeah,
Dante's just a guy who's he gets hungry, he gets amped up, and he wants that back. He wants to beat Mika, and he knows Mika's going to be in the division, probably meet him in the finals or semis or something.
And Dante was just so on that tournament. He just looked incredible. He had the incredible match with PJ, incredible match with Majid. Dude was just on fire that tournament, And so now it just kind of plays into the storyline here of 2024, and if these two dudes hit, they know each other pretty well. There's some history there. Dante's, got a little chip on his shoulder. Sure. Mika, of course, got a chip on his shoulder coming into ADCC as well. So that's just going to make for a fire matchup, to be honest. Two dudes who want it real bad.
I would go so far as to say that this division with Mika and Dante, who I guess we would all say are the 1 and 2 in this division, there's other tough guys we can talk about. They're both good enough. They could be on the absolute podium, right? They could both medal in the open.
Would love to see these dudes in the absolute.
I think they probably both will.
Yeah, Dante's always in the absolute. Mika, that'd be awesome if he jumped in there. But
Dante just closed out American Nationals,
Nationals
with Max Hansen, his
maniac
student. That's freaking so sick.
What was it? 2023 Nogi Pans. He won the absolute, or he won the super heavyweight division, right?
Yeah,
it's incredible. That's 200 and something pounds.
It had a match with Devontae, right?
Yeah.
The way. That's crazy.
And Luca Lira, who's just won on WNO and is a big guy. Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. Wow. Wagner Hocha in this division, making history, by the way, competing at ADCC along with his daughter Jasmine. So that's kind of a cool story.
77 too, by the way. There are at least 6 of the 16 are former medalists.
That's crazy.
JT, 2-time gold medalist, Mika silver, Dante bronze, Davi Ramos gold, Wagner several medals, Gary several medals.
True.
Incredible.
Let me call out potential disruptor, I guess, Mateusz Szczecinski, who just absolutely gets on everybody's ankles. I think that is actually potentially a really bad matchup for Mika. We saw him get blown up with a straight ankle lock in IBJJF competition earlier this year. I think if Alejandro Mariano can get you to an 8, Mateusz Szczecinski will get it all the way to the 10. So I just think that would be a really interesting stylistic matchup. I honestly think Mateusz can take out pretty much any of these guys with straight ankle locks. Dante was able to beat him in the last ADCC. He came in on very late notice, but he is such a killer.
Yeah.
Those lower body holds that anybody on this list is a potential victim.
Yeah, Mateusz sneaky, one of our favorite grapplers, and I feel like just because he just breaks people's stuff.
I mean,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Revolutionized that straight footlock, right?
True.
It is completely back into the meta of jiu-jitsu. People are prioritizing footlocks over heel hooks now. And
there were 3 straight ankle lock finishes in the black belt world finals this
year.
Year.
Incredible.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
it used to be a move that nobody would use. It was like a junk move. And now it's completely come back into vogue, and that's a lot due to Mateusz.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Whenever we went to Poland, Mateusz sadly wasn't there, but I didn't learn how to do a straight ankle, but I did learn a little bit about the Polish language, and now I'll bestow that knowledge. Yeah, I'll bestow that knowledge onto our audience. So whenever you see the SZ in a Polish word, it's pronounced sh, and when you see the CZ, it's pronounced ch. So as you can see by Mateusz's name, it's Mateusz Szczecinski. So that's a little tidbit at home for everybody who's trying to learn something, beyond just jiu-jitsu right here on this beautiful podcast. So
Polish phonics with Trey.
Yep. Welcome back to Polish phonics with Trey. But
gotta mention PJ.
Yeah, I was about
PJ
to say
for sure.
PJ.
Yeah. Oh, you got dibs on PJ?
dibs PJ.
Ah, man, dang it. No. Dang.
Corey, we have a lot of dibs that I feel like we need to be cashing.
Yeah, I got
you guys are-
Yeah.
You guys are
Sitting-
slow,
I'm sitting
dude.
on
You
the
guys
dibs
are
cards for
slow.
99.
Yeah, dude, PJ looked incredible at 2022 Worlds. Obviously had wins over, who did he beat? He beat JT, Tommy.
Had the takedown of the tournament for me.
And then
against JT.
the match, I think, too, the match of the tournament was him and Cade.
Yeah, incredible match.
One match of the year.
You know, was winning the match for a long time, you know, and obviously just, you know, Cade did his thing, and
Cade Roots does what
Yeah.
the Roots do, man.
Cade does what he does, but PJ looked great in that match, and I don't know obviously, but I was just gonna say it feels like PJ even maybe surprised himself a little bit at ADCC 2022. Just doing some of the interviews and stuff backstage, you know. So it feels like he's going to be coming into this one with a lot more confidence, knowing that he belongs, knowing that he can beat any of these guys. So yeah, I like PJ to be in the mix here late.
PJ is such a tournament guy too. Like sometimes you see him in a
true,
super
true.
fight and he's a little cold, a little like can't get started. When he has not an easy, but like a good
Ramp.
first round match to kind of ramp himself up, he's hot. Like he just picks up steam, and especially given he placed 4th last year, right? So he's going to get a pretty good seed. So his first couple of matches might be, you know, matches where he can ramp himself up to day 2, and I think that could really give him a hot hand in at
100%.
ADCC.
I think another dude to talk about though while we're here is JT Torres.
Absolutely.
I mean, two-time champ coming back, you know.
We could genuinely talk about all of these
I
guys.
know,
Every
all
one
of
of like
them.
everyone.
Everyone has a case for something interesting you could say about why
everyone
it's
is
cool
sick. To be honest, it's going to be a crazy division.
Luis Paulo, super sick.
Yeah.
Luis Paulo in the mix.
Obinho, Jonatas. Honestly, all three of those guys that we got out of the Brazil trials.
And
right there.
Kenta, it's time for him to kind of have his breakout party, to be honest. We've seen him a long time. We know how good Kenta is, but
Majid Hage, clearly
yeah.
love Majid.
And then Taza, of course. Taza has been in the mix for a long time.
Taza, not Taza. Not Oliver. You know what you did. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, Oliver.
We love Oliver.
Jonatas, you know, had a great showing at Who's Number One a couple weeks ago. So he's kind of on a tear right now. So it's just like, man, this division is stacked. Elijah.
One real wild card I want to pull out. I want to just pop out real quick because
You're calling dibs?
calling dibs on this wild card.
You can have him.
Particularly because like coming down from probably 80. I mean, he competed at 88 last year. Izaki Bayen's. Right? How does that guy make 170 pounds? It's going to be a really weird cut. Like I'll be happy to see him at 77, but that's to me like he's a big boy for 77. He could cause a lot of problems with his just like kind of cagey style. Going to make guys do some desperate moves, and if he can manifest that weight and be healthy at 77, it's going to be an interesting cut.
I mean, he's the one guy that Bedoni did not submit in his run to gold. So clearly he is able to hang with some of these top dogs at 88. Now down at 77, yeah, I think you that's a really good call out.
Dude, I don't know. That does blow my mind. Like not even like Izaka and Michael Lengi had the whole croissant thing going, you know, like making fat jokes and stuff. Izaka's not fat. Obviously, he's not fat, but he's just like a big dude. You know what I mean? Like he has like a big frame. He's muscular, and I don't know. I just cannot picture this dude. What do you have to get down to 169.75
7.5
is the conversion for all the Americans at home. You guys are learning a lot today, dude. I taught you the Polish language. I taught you what 77
Metric
kilos
system,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna go over like how to read the shade or the shadow of the sun to tell time. But it just like I don't know. I just cannot picture Izak at 170 pounds. If we see like what's the lowest we've seen him in recent time at?
He did
181,
middleweight
181.
in Worlds 2021. Was that middleweight?
Yeah, so and even then we were kind of surprised. I feel like a lot of people were surprised at the time. Like, man, that's really small for Izaki. This is 10 pounds under that.
But
Crazy.
I don't know. I'm sure he'll rock up freaking chiseled to the bone, looking like a beast, and just he's gonna be a force at 170. But we did mention Jonathan pretty quickly. Jonathan's just obviously won the Who's Number One 185-pound belt. He went up against Jacob Couch and put on a pretty dominant match. Kind of showcased that. I mean, Jonathan Gracie, I feel like is always a guy I hear rumors of being like the strongest dude that anyone rolls with, you know? And I mean, I think he kind of proved that a little bit, like bounced up to 185 won with like just dominant pressure and just kind of suffocated his opponent like with his strength and pressure. And I mean, he might be a pretty
definitely
pretty big force in this division.
Disruptor.
Watching him at South American trials for sure was like pretty sick. He was just like dominating out there, so
we gotta move through. We gotta keep going.
yeah, let's go to 88. That's the next division. What divisions we got left? 88, 99, 99. 55, 65, 65. All right.
7 more divisions to go through.
7 more divisions. Okay, yeah, you're right.
We
We
gotta
got to pick
move
up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. No more
how it
freaking,
is, though, like
no
the lighter
more
ones.
Polish lessons for you guys. We're strictly down to brass tacks now. And so for this one, who's our favorite kicking things off? Got to be Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Bedoni, returning champ.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He got a 4 subs in his debut ADCC performance last year. Looked incredible. Team New Wave. He's so focused on not just being like the one-time champ who kind of fades in the background. He wants to really build a legacy and start to create something that stands the test of time. To do that, you need to win multiple times. And this is a really, really tough field that's going to be coming after him. Somebody that I think we have to look at it as one of his biggest rivals. What?
Reed got dibs.
no, I'm just kidding.
No, you got it, Reed. You got
No,
it.
no.
That's all you big.
You can have it.
Okay,
You can have it. You
He's
can have
giving
it.
me back the dibs.
Oh.
He's undibs.
Veto. I vetoed your dibs.
Vetoed the
Dibs.
dibs.
All right. I think Mourinho. I think we
Ooh,
gotta look
that's
at
not who I was going to
Mourinho.
dibs. That's not who I
Yeah,
was
so I
dibs.
think Pedro Mourinho to me is a guy who has been ADCC before. We've seen him take on some really tough guys. He's had an incredible run ever since then. He's looking the best he's ever looked. Beat Bedonia, who's number 1. To me, those are kind of the 2 top dogs when I look at this division. What do you?
All right,
guys
then I'll dibs the other guy.
All right.
Isaac.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
He's
do.
up there.
I'll dibs
He's
Isaac,
up there.
dude. I think Isaac, I mean, he obviously had an unreal match with Wagner. Could have went either way. You know, it was kind of that back and forth, just super sick match. I think ADCC deemed it the match of the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just think he's a dude who could get in the mix and just freaking have a day, you know?
Good rule set for him, too. He's a good wrestler. You know, he's good top pressure.
Isaac's
his
at
loose
Penn
passing is
State
really
right
good.
now. He's training with Jason Nolf and
Wow.
Barry Nickel.
Wow.
I was like, oh, you like the wrestling's getting unreal there or something? He's like, no, I'm just showing them jujitsu. And I was like, bro.
You're kind of missing some of the,
Tell me to reciprocate a little of the wrestling, my man. But so I mean, obviously he's going to be picking up tons of stuff from them, though. Kind of a joke there, but so yeah, I think Isaac could come in super sharp. We've seen him. What have we seen him in recently? On One was the last thing.
Yeah, he took on Ty at 1. He took on.
So we haven't seen a lot of Isaac.
William
though.
Tackett.
But the time match, man,
Childs.
on the feet was like crazy, super competitive. Like the once it got down to the mat, like things kind of changed.
I hit the craziest sweep I've ever seen.
Yeah, Ty does his stuff, but I think he showed off some really good wrestling in that match there in the first kind of half of the match.
Who did Wagner have second round in 2022?
Mourinho.
Was it Mourinho? Yeah. So you could make a case where, like, you know, the Wagner match was a really tight decision. Could have gone either way, I think. But if Isaac beats Wagner in that match, like, Mourinho, I think, is probably a winnable match for him. The next match was, what, Hulk? That's an interesting match, too. Like, there was a route for Isaac in 2022 to the podium. And this field, to me, seems, I mean, okay, Giancarlo is the one, but wide open after that. Like, any one of these guys could win ADCC.
Sometimes it's like you do got to get your kind of feet underneath you at ADCC. You kind of have to go and lose your first match or whatever, and then come back the next time stronger. I feel like that's kind of what everybody does, right? So it's like Isaac had an incredible match that first one. He's got his feet wet. He's going to come back stronger this next time. But we were talking about, you know, guys we're talking about PJ being like a good tournament guy. Talking about another guy who I feel like is a really good tournament guy is Jacob Couch.
Absolutely.
It's like Jacob Couch could kind of walk in here and just like leg lock everybody, to be honest. Like, you know, I feel like he's got the leg lock advantage over pretty much everybody. I know Taylor Perriman's a really good leg locker. You know, Giancarlo's going to come in prepared. Chris Wojcik's going to come prepared for leg locks and stuff. But, you know, Couch definitely has a chance to be there in the final, you know, especially looking at what he did at Trials, one of the more impressive runs that we've ever seen at Trials. You know, I know he had a little messed up recently with who's number 1, but besides that, I feel like Couch has got to be one of the favorites here as well.
This division has a lot of interesting little tidbits, I feel like, where it's like, all right, Jacob Couch could come in, could leg lock everybody. You know, he had the incredible East Coast Trials run. And then there's a guy like Taylor Perriman who won his trials all leg locks, where it's like, oh, shit, okay, but what does happen there? But then someone like Ryan Aitken, where Ryan Aitken beat Couch in an ADCC Open. I know that's completely different stage and everything, but there's like a lot of little weird jiu-jitsu math type of stuff in this division. Kind of like Joe mentioned, Pedro Mourinho has a win over Giancarlo on who's number 1. Giancarlo obviously returning champ. So I don't know. This to me feels like it's like, dude, who knows? Like this could just go any sort of direction, any route.
Even Hanger to me.
I was about to say Hanger's the guy who like he has a medal at ADCC.
Yeah. It's like
not a lot of
kind
people
sleeping
on this list can say that.
sleeping on Hanger a little bit. It's like that dude can can guillotine literally anybody, and he's got probably the most experience at ADCC. Looking at the most experience at ADCC maybe.
But then you throw in a guy like J-Rod, who's just like young, hungry, trains with the best in the world.
Good
has
tournament.
Experience.
Good tournament.
Him and Hanger is kind of a sick match, actually, now that I think about it, because they're just like everything that the other one kind of isn't.
Yeah, it's like, Jay's going to shoot. Like, he's still going to shoot.
Yeah, 100%.
The more I think about it, Jay kind of a tournament guy too.
For sure.
He had that
bit,
7 submission run at trials in 2020.
He starts slow. He does always start slow, like usually.
And that's kind of haunted him in some of those super fights, right? He like famously admits, man, I'm 0-4 on who's number 1, but I keep on giving exciting matches. And that's exactly it.
Dude has like the best match every time.
Yeah.
Just can't come out on top of it. He obviously fought Tynan, and it did look like he was going to get it. I thought like for a while, I was like, oh shit, Jay's going to mess this dude up. Like he's going to do it. But obviously Tynan's
that's crazy.
So.
One more worth calling
we like
out.
watching Santiri.
Santiri is great as well. I was going to call out Elder Cruz because I think ADCC rule set is so good for Elder. Elder can out wrestle a lot of these guys. Some of them have wins over him at trials, but that doesn't take away from the fact that if Elder gets going and he gets wrestling and he can bring it to points, get it back to standing, like Elder can win on takedowns alone. His outside passing is phenomenal. Puts so much pressure down from the top, and more and more we're seeing his guard really develop into that like Lucas Leite style half guard, which is great for ADCC. Gives a lot of sweeping potential, a lot of wrestling potential.
Keeps you off your back, which is really important. Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's keep it moving. We got a few more divisions to go through.
Real quick shout out Charles Negromonte, like 35, 36 years old, qualifying for his first ADCC. That's pretty rare. I think that's pretty cool. I just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I also noticed Felipe Costa dropped down from 99 into the 88 division.
That's a big 88.
But yeah, let's look at the under 99 kilograms division, and then off the rip, you got to go favorite here.
Dibs.
Michael Pixley. I'm kidding. I love Pixley, but it's Kynan Duarte. Kynan Duarte is obviously the favorite. You got dibs on him? Talk about him, Corey.
Yeah, I mean,
Nicholas Marigali's the favorite.
Oh,
damn.
shit.
He just beat Kynan.
I guess.
No,
there's
you're
that
right.
jiu-jitsu math gets going, but I don't know. ADCC is a different beast.
You're right.
And like I think the ultimate show pony out there who like rises to the occasion of IBJJF Worlds to ADCC World Championship is Kynan Duarte, right?
time.
Like,
I agree.
he's gonna come in so prepared, so ready to go that I don't know. It's hard, like, and just like the images of him in 2022 just being on top of dudes and just like destroying them, looking like so physical, so much pressure, like are burned into my brain where I'm like, how could you beat a guy who's able to do that to somebody? So I don't know. What do you think?
It seems to me like Kynan doesn't take as many things seriously as he takes ADCC. Every time he comes into ADCC, he is not just prepared, but like ironclad prepared. He smashes through everybody. It makes it look easy. He's incredibly like adept for the ADCC rule set. He can out wrestle a lot of guys. If he gets on top, it's game over. And yeah, his style fits so well for ADCC. He's 2-time champion. Very few people in history can say that they've won ADCC twice. So I think Kynan is the clear favorite, but
shots fired.
But Nicholas Marigali and Kynan is the final that we all need to see. It's the final that is very likely to happen. Because Nicholas Marigali is having his moment right now. He's had this last time he was at ADCC. It was the Nogi experiment. Now it is the Nicholas Marigali Nogi show. He's hit that level where he's pretty obviously in line for the final.
For sure. And I mean, like you said, he did submit Kynan.
Yep.
So I guess there's an element where it's like, I don't know, if you submit a guy, it's like, I guess the rules aside, you submitted a guy. So it's like, damn, bro. Nicholas.
I want to see Declan Moody versus Nicholas Marigali.
I was about to call him out.
That'd be a sick match. Like, yeah, we were all so impressed.
I didn't even think I needed to call dibs, but yeah, no, Declan and no, please. He looked so good, right?
Yeah,
his guard
we were
passing
impressed.
was incredible.
Yeah, Declan looked like
and we have, we think highly of Felipe Costa for sure. We've gotten to be in the room quite a bit with him recently and know how good he is, and to see kind of Declan really take it to him, it was just like, damn, he's good.
100%. I will point out my kind of dark horse disruptor guy, and no dibs. I call dibs on no dibs.
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah, sure.
Cyborg.
Polish powerhouse.
Yeah.
Definitely not Cyborg.
Marcin.
No, I like Marcin a lot. Marcin Masialovic.
Oh, you're going to say Paul.
No, I'm going to say Michael Pixley, dude.
Oh,
I think
of
Michael Pixley is arguably probably the best wrestler at ADCC. Like if you go off actual like
Yeah,
wrestling pedigree, the things he's won. He's won. I think it was NAIA Outstanding Wrestler of the Year.
2?
Like, yeah, he has like he kind of bounced around, obviously, but like incredible wrestler all through
just
college.
good rule set for him.
Great rule set for him. Watching him in the under 99 kilogram division at West Coast Trials, this dude just like he was just spamming slide by to the back, choke you out. Like I thought more so than he actually was looking back and watching it. Like I thought he just hit that every time. But this dude actually showed an array of different chokes. He hit a Peruvian necktie in that run, which I met the dude who's teaching all these Daisy Fresh dudes the Peruvian necktie. They have a guy there at the gym.
You got a Peruvian necktie guy?
They have a dude from Peru.
The real Peruvian necktie.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He's
that
definitely
authentic.
added that into his game recently.
100%.
Then
I can't remember. Do you guys know who created the Peruvian necktie? It was a Peruvian grappler, right? Obviously,
Tony D'Souza, maybe.
maybe is he a legitimate?
I think
Peruvian?
he's from Peru.
I think
yeah.
this dude who's at Daisy Fresh now used to train under him, so he has like just an incredibly nasty Peruvian necktie, and Pixley's obviously adapted that, uses a lot. He was hitting it a bunch in the gym whenever we were there recently.
It is Tony D'Souza.
Gotcha. Yeah, nice pull. And so I just think Pixley, he hit that. He hit a Dars. He hit a rear naked. So he's like just kind of showing this like array of new submissions. And with a guy like him, I feel like he's probably just accumulating more and more as he trains every day. Like in the training room, he was getting into leg entanglements with like the best of them, like Jacob Couch, and getting in, getting out. He was kind of entering his own leg lock. So it's like, oh shit, dude, Pixley might show up just a well-rounded beast of a grappler who already has this wrestling pedigree on top of everything. So I think he's a guy that like, who knows, dude, he could just have a day. Like,
One
I
thing
mean,
that
if you take out Kynan and Marigali, like who does Pixley not kind of match up really well with here? Like
And
a cyborg type, I feel like he matches up.
I know.
Really
I was gonna
well
say
with,
Pixley
yeah.
versus Cyborg is kind of perfect match for Pixley, to be honest. But I just feel like he really leveled up at trials.
One thing that Pixley has too that I think is super necessary in ADCC that you can tell when guys have this kind of edge is Pixley's when he's got his game face on, man, he's mean.
Yeah, he's mean.
He's mean.
Last
He's
guy
he's
won.
ready to take you down off the mat, take you down through the table.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he wants to punish you when you're on the mat. And there's something that like having that grit about you in a tournament like this is a lot of it.
Yeah. No, Pixley's a dude, like, whenever I go to Daisy Fresh and around those guys, I always try to be a little extra nice to Pixley because I'm like, man, don't just beat my ass just 'cause. Like, I don't know if Couch is going to help me. Couch and Spatch are going to, like, pants me or something while Pixley's beating me up. And Pixley turns on me. So, yeah, got to always befriend Pixley. But
gotta give a shout out to Paul Ardea too.
Paul
For
Ardea,
sure.
yeah.
He obviously
absolute but
5-time
he's-
ADCC.
one of the guys who probably has the most division. Or actually, this is a pretty experienced division here with Raphael, Cyborg, and everybody. But yeah, Paul's been there a long time. You know, obviously, kind of been waiting for him to have his breakout moment at ADCC as well. So maybe it's this time.
One wild card for me is the Polish Punisher himself, Marcin. I think wild card is a great kind of nomiker for him because we've seen him compete a lot, but never against some of the best in the world, right? Like he did outstanding at trials. He looked great at No-Gi Worlds. He won No-Gi Worlds. I think he took second or third in the absolute division at No-Gi Worlds last year. Has looked great at brown belt and against some other Europeans, but against this list, how's he do? It's a big question mark for me.
for sure.
Two guys I want to talk about real quick. Just Javier Zaruski, No-Gi World Champion. I think he would do well, but he is going to hit kind in second round because of they're both Atos. So that's just a really rough path for him. It's not like we're ignoring a No-Gi World Champion or anything. I just think he has a really rough path. Henrique Sacconi, I think, is somebody with a really good style matchup for ADCC. His wrestling is awesome. You can see his match with Marigali. He has so many good takedowns. Won trials, beating Patrick Gaudio in a super tough fight. I think that he is somebody that is going to be a really tough out as well at ADCC. I think like him and Pixley, I think would just be like 6 wild throws and then one of them taps out the other.
Yeah.
That would be sick. All right, let's move up to the over 99 kilogram division, the big boys. If these dudes weren't big enough for you, well, it's your lucky day because we got a division of even bigger dudes.
Dibs.
Oh, you got dibs already?
Dibs.
Man, this dude.
Dibs on what?
I'm going to make the call right now.
Dibs on.
I'm going to make the call right now. This is Luke's year.
I agree.
that's a
I
good
agree.
pick.
That was gonna be my pick.
That was a
But
good
man,
You guys are
Felipe Penn
sleeping
is
on
in-
Hecky Jusula, bro.
Mike Perez.
Oh yeah, and Mike.
I call
Perez.
dibs on Mike Perez.
Yeah, no, Luke has looked absolutely phenomenal since his ADCC debut where he lost a close decision in the first round, was it, to Yuri?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, really like
Yeah, super cool.
narrow decision.
Had to pull out of the who's number one though. Is he all right?
That's a good.
Yeah, that's a good
What's
question.
going on with him?
Yeah.
But
Hope he's healthy for ADCC.
yeah, really hope he's all right. I think this is the right division for him. You know, he looked good at minus 99, but he looks so strong with some extra weight. Think about what he did to Roosevelt and who's number 1 last year. Like, he has a little extra size on him, and he just throws people around, does whatever he wants. His Nogi Worlds performance was absolutely stellar, double gold at brown belt.
Dude, Luke is so big.
Yeah,
Luke
he's
is like
monster.
one of those guys where like when you see him, you're like, oh, I know this guy's big, and then you're standing next to him, and it's like, holy shit, dude, like. Are we the same? Like, are we the same species? Like, what's going on? You're such a big dude.
What was his record last year? It was like 83 wins with 82 submissions or
I
something
think
like
it was
that.
100% submissions. I
Yeah.
think he went 100% submission rate in
I
2020.
think he had 1 loss and 83 victories.
Yeah, that's insane. So yeah,
Badass.
I kind of agree with you there, but I mean, there's some names in this division that might not agree with you. Like I would say like Gutenberg
Absolutely.
in there.
Felipe
like,
Pena?
Yeah, Felipe
Felipe
Pena.
Pena. I
obviously.
mean, Big
Wait,
Dan.
is
Luke is
Felipe
going to
not-
have to fight
I don't
Big
think
Dan.
Felipe is in this division actually, though.
he is.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, Felipe Pena is.
Still in.
He's in.
Still in? I thought they were only letting him do the
No,
absolute.
they're letting him do the absolute, the weight class, and the super fight. He's trying to become the first person to ever
Okay.
triple gold at an ADCC.
Okay, all right.
Pretty insane.
Which would be absolutely nuts. He has the experience. He's won ADCC before. Obviously, he's beaten Gordon before. He's going to be in the Gordon fight. So the way Felipe's tournament is going to work, he's going to have 2 matches on Saturday in his weight class, and then he will be in the quote-unquote main event of that day. His 3rd fight of Saturday will be against Gordon. He turns, assuming he wins, turns it right around Saturday morning or Sunday morning, right back into the divisional semifinals.
That's crazy.
Looking at this list of guys, this is going to be such a crazy bracket to make because you got a bunch of teammates in here. So I feel like it's just going to be kind of you're going to have to talk about Luke versus Big Dan hitting somewhere in
Vincent
here.
Hysom.
Yeah,
Hysom
Vincent
and
Hysom kind of hitting somewhere in here. So yeah, it's just definitely. I don't know if Mike Perez and Felipe will have to hit, but
I think they'll still probably get to.
yeah, for sure. But definitely kind of going to be an interesting bracket here.
It's going to rule. It's going to rule a lot. I think that somebody that I'm really looking at that I was really impressed at trials was Victor Honorio. Looks so big, so strong. Was
Yeah, he's
absolutely
big.
just muscling dudes around. He has ADCC experience. I think that he's somebody. Let's talk Mike Perez for a second, though. El Patron
Let's.
coming in, you know,
Yeah, what a
he is not 99 plus kilos.
No, I can't. I hope we go to Atos in the next couple weeks and we see Perez and he is 99 kilos.
And he's just
That's
enormous.
incredible.
Yeah, that's
Bigger
what
than
I'm
Kynan.
hoping.
That
I haven't
he's
seen him in a
division
minute.
Above Kynan is so crazy.
That would be so awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, Perez being in this division is it's just so sick.
He's got
It's
a
just
path,
dope
too.
Thing. Yeah,
You know,
it's real.
And he just
it's
earned
not,
his way. Like that's the best part.
This is
Earned
not
it.
unwinnable for him. Like, he's got a path to
Yeah,
day 2 for
definitely.
sure here.
I think Josh Saunders, obviously, we just saw him on WNO.
Yeah,
That was a
he
big
looked very
breakout
good.
moment for him.
He looked
He looked
great.
great against Gordon. He just got his black belt over the weekend. Congratulations, Josh. Very cool, very quick, very Kit Dale, like I guess you would say for an Australian who gets his black belt in like 5 years.
A couple people I would point out as well as like potential disruptor type of guys. Like, I mean, not even honestly, like John Hansen, I would say is a guy who could come in and just destroy everybody. Like John Hansen's an absolute beast. He's like one of those big guys who doesn't play like a big guy. He has an insane guard. But him and then Vince Pizzuto, who ended up being the runner-up at Trials. I don't know a ton about Vince. Like that run of him at Trials was like the most exposure I feel like I've had to Vince's game. I know know him from being in the B team room and always being there training with those beasts, which obviously if you're in that room every day, you're eventually going to get really good at jiu-jitsu. So I think Vince could be a dude that I don't know what he'll do, but I'm excited to see what he does at ADCC. I guess he's one of those guys for me. Hysom as well.
Viking dude, like just huge, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely rooting for Hysom. Probably best moment of ADCC
100%.
2022 was given to us by Hysom. So always hoping for something crazy like that to happen again. Or obviously he's capable of some wild stuff.
The Hysom armbar at 2022 was kind of like one of the most significant live sports moments I've ever been there for live. Honestly, not to brag, but I was there whenever Khabib jumped the cage after he
That's
fought
crazy.
Conor McGregor, and
That's
that was
super crazy.
probably number one, and then Heisum close second. I don't know if it really was, but it was for sure was up there, just from a standpoint of like that arena was so packed, everyone was so dialed in, and just all the fans were waiting for something significant, and then Heisum delivered with that, with the armbar. The place just erupted, like just an insane feeling to feel that many people screaming and being stoked about the same thing. And I do think that like it probably got to Heisum, honestly, because it was just such an insane moment. You know, he was kind of like trying to compose himself backstage. So now I think he's going to come back into ADCC this time with probably a very different mindset. Like he's been there, he's had the big moment, and now he's just like, all right, well now I just got to actually go on a run. So I don't know, could be a good year for Heisum.
Let's look at these women's divisions. These women's divisions
sure.
are absolutely stacked this year. I think it's just pretty sick that all three of the divisions, you know, it's kind of a new time, right? And the first time we've done 3 divisions, but I feel like all 3 of these divisions are kind of wide open. But
and we have an absolute to worry about,
and
too.
an absolute. So it's really highlighting some talent here. I feel like.
And this is such a killer list at
Yeah.
minus 55. It's stacked top to bottom. So there's no returning champ, right? Fionn is out. So it's kind of wide open here. And we've said this about a bunch of divisions, but any person on this roster could win the thing.
Literally
and I
all
would not
8
be
of these girls
surprised.
could win.
Right? Bianca
I
Basilio,
could
returning
believe that.
champion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And they're all kind of really, not all of them maybe, but like a lot of these girls are really on the come up right now.
Yep.
You know, Anna, Maisa, Jasmine, Adele,
yeah.
Alex, Margot. It's like they're all kind of on the come up right now. And for me, man, it's just like anytime Jasmine's out there, I'm watching for sure. Jasmine's got kind of like one of the funnest games I feel like these days. So that just makes for any match Jasmine has is gonna be fun. You know, Adele is killing it these days. So any match Adele's having these days, I'm watching.
So they announced the minus 55 division, the kind of creation of the minus 55 at the beginning of the year. And I think the first thing everybody thought, definitely the first thing I thought was, oh, this is Maisa's opportunity. Because Maisa made her ADCC debut 2022, just a little too small for minus 60, right? Her first match was Bia Mesquita, and that's a tough draw. Bia's a big one, a big 60.
Yeah.
And Maisa, I don't think couldn't make 135 if she tried.
Yeah.
Right? So for Maisa, I think this is a perfect weight category and a good opportunity to see. Like Adele's been calling for that match.
For sure.
We could see it. I think a Jasmine rematch with Jasmine now having some some better experience than the first time they faced off at South American Trials. Like, it's a good opportunity for Jasmine. Her and Brenda Larissa have a back and forth kind of rivalry. Tons of great matches for Maisa, and I think it's a great opportunity for her.
Yeah, I think Adele is probably someone that I'm pretty excited to watch. She's bringing this, this big daddy energy thing she's got going. She's bringing the daddy energy to all this
gimmick.
stuff.
I like the gimmick.
I do too. Yeah, it's sick. She posted that video where she was like acting like a mechanic, where she was getting the W&O call, and I mean
That was her dad's car.
Yeah,
she told me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. But that was pretty sick. So
That's hilarious.
She's also just been on a heater as well. But I do think like Bia Basilio is like.
Yeah, she's got to be the
to
one
beat,
seed,
in my
right?
opinion.
Former
Yeah,
champion.
true.
Former champ, like absolute beast, super exciting grappler. So I'm excited to watch Bia Basilio as well. But I'd say let's go ahead and let's jump into the under 65.
Can I just point out something
kilograms
here?
Division. Yeah, and go ahead and get it pulled up on the screen over here so we can see it as well.
There are going to be 2 sets. So there's only 8 women, 2 sets of teammates. Alex Enriquez and Adele Fornerino are both representing Atos.
Oh, dang.
And then Maisa and Margot are going to have to face off very first round.
Oh, okay.
So, so that's just really interesting, especially with the men's. In the men's divisions, you can kind of be like, okay, maybe it'll be second round.
These girls know their first round matchup.
It's like, no,
basically.
Margot and Maisa face off first round.
Yeah.
Adele and Alex Enriquez face off first round. And that is going to be that's just got to be a tough thing to prepare with in mind, especially because like Maisa and Margot are both in the same room. I
I was
think
gonna say, at
Adele
least
and Alex, it's
across the
just kind of
country.
like whatever. Yeah, I mean, not even the same country half the time.
Okay.
But for Maisa and Margot, same room, you guys are meeting in T-Mobile.
All right, here we go. Let's go into the 65 kilo division now. So
Stacked division
ran
here,
through
too.
55. Now we're running through 65. We got some returning medalists. We have Bia, returning champ, right? No, obviously not in this division. None of these are in this division. It's a new division. And BSM, returning silver medalist. Who kind of stands out to you guys as a favorite in this one? Do you got to go someone like Bia Mesquita, or do you go BSM, returning silver medalist? Like,
I actually am going to go a different way with this. Seeing her at trials, and she's just been so successful in the past. I think Anna Carolina has a great style to be able to win ADCC.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
agree.
she's so positionally strong. She's so physically strong. She's so tactically strong. She's so tough to beat. She took on Gabby McComb in the finals over there at trials. I think she went all subs that round at that tournament. Put Gabby out with a really good guillotine, got her to tap. Just looked incredible. I think if I were going to start by circling any one person, it would probably be Anna Carolina.
Okay.
I like Bia Mosqueda, just obviously, veteran of the game, and she's just had so many matches, beat so many girls. Until one of these girls beats Bia, I feel like Bia's got to be the kind of favorite going in. We'll see how, I know she's doing MMA right now, so we'll see how focused she is on grappling, but she's always come in like hyper prepared for ADCC. And this is a dope division, to be honest.
I could see a BSM final depending on how the bracket shapes out.
Yeah.
And BSM has kind of got a good measuring stick, right? She beat Bia Basilio last time around 2022. Fionn beat Bia Mosqueda. That's how the final ended up. So it's a good, okay, well, where are we at? Because it's a good way to kind of measure against where she was last year. Can she get through Bia Mosqueda? I think it's a pretty good opportunity for her to test herself. But I think we can't look past both Helena Krivar and Mo Black. I think during both trials, so many eyes were on Helena that people overlooked just how dominant Mo Black was. So that'd be
style
a
for ADCC
rematch. She's got a great wrestling style for that. That's how she ended up beating Helena in the first time around. But I think you'd be a fool not to be watching Helena very closely against for the first time, really, like some of these very decorated black belts. We've never seen her against somebody like Bia Mosqueda, like BSM, like Anna Carolina. So it's a really good opportunity to see where exactly she is. I have no idea. I don't think anybody really does.
Yeah, I think I totally agree that I think if Helena wins this division, none of us will be surprised. We've really seen just how dominant she is and how good she looks in the room and the way that everybody talks about her as kind of really the next big thing in grappling. And this is going to be a big test. Like Joe said, Anna Carolina is a veteran. She's beaten back a lot of these kind of up and coming prodigies and stuff. And same with Bia Mosqueda. So you got kind of two real badass veterans that she's going to have to probably go through, at least one of them. BSM holding down the close guard for us. It's going to be a kind of a different look for her. But yeah, Helena, especially at trials and everything like that, it's like you can tell she looks like a world champion.
It's also a big opportunity because you think like she's kind of in the same boat right now that Cole Abate was at purple and brown belt, where despite the fact that he competes like a black belt, nobody wants to take the match against the teenage purple belt, the teenage brown belt. So a lot of black belts are maybe not super willing to take that match. She gets the podium at ADCC, or she gets first place, second place, and now she has a right to call for an Anna Carolina, a BSM, a Bia Mosqueda in a super fight. So it's a good opportunity to kind of take that throne and start being able to deserve those matches that she honestly deserves already.
100%. So there you have it. Some obviously the divisions are stacked. As always, super exciting to kind of look at it this way and
glad to see Amanda
glimpse.
Glad to see Amanda Levy in there too.
Yeah, for sure.
She's going to have to face Helena first round, isn't she? Both New Wave.
They're kind of technically teammates.
Is Amanda Levy New Wave?
Isn't she? Yeah.
I didn't think she was, but
maybe I'm wrong. If she's not,
Jay
then
Budo. She trains with Jay. But
is that like Henzo Gracie? Maybe they just both come from that lineage. So I don't know how they'll say that.
Yeah, I guess we will find out soon enough. But
one more.
I know. We're one more.
One more division.
Oh yeah, we got plus 65. Dang, dude. All right, plus 65. I'm trying to get to the Roots trailer.
That's all right. We can skip it for next week. No worries.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the plus 65 kilo division. That's my bad. I almost skipped it. Is it? I mean, Amy Campo got to be the favorite, right? What do you think?
Amy Campo coming in number
returning
one.
champion coming in very, very strong as pretty compelling number one. We haven't seen Amy in action for a whole lot of the last couple of years, but she surprised, I think, just about everybody. I'm going to pull a Trey here and say only one person thought Amy Campo could win in 2022, and that was this guy right here. But yeah, Amy Campo impressed a lot of people in 2022. I think it'll be kind of expected for her to rise to the top of this division in 2024.
Somebody that I'm definitely looking at is going to be Kendall. I know that Amy won in 2022, but we're all aware of what happened with Kendall. She injures her leg in the semifinal, doesn't really get her shot in a lot of ways at proving just where she fell in the pecking order. I think she's probably coming from a place of, I should have won in 2022. I'm coming back to get what I could have gotten then. It's going to be a question of how much her knee is healed. She was able to win a IBJJF black belt no-gi world title, and that was very impressive. But this is a much higher class of competition than what she faced there. If she's back to 100% with her wrestling base and her skill, I think she's a threat to any of these women, including Amy.
I would honestly also I'll put Rafaela Geddes up as like one of my favorites. Rafaela, silver medalist. She was the one who was a part of that Kendall match where Kendall got injured. And I do just think Rafaela's just a beast, you know? Like, Rafaela's one of those girls that I think can just, you know, get in another girl's face and kind of just, like, make her make mistakes and make them get tired of Rafaela just getting collar ties on them and stuff and make stuff happen. So I'll put Rafaela up there as one of my kind of favorites.
She's got a very, like, prime Kynan style. When Kynan is on and Rafaela are on, their games look very similar.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they're both unstoppable. Like when they're on, they're both unstoppable type of thing.
Yep.
Of course.
But you also got to shout out Nachieli to Jesus there. You know, another veteran of the game, but she's, you know, no slouch and definitely a tough match for any one of these girls, and definitely has all the tools to win this division.
This year too, I'm really high on Maria Raffato. If you watch her trials runs at both South American trials, she submitted 2 or 3 opponents and just looked like she was a head and shoulders better than every single person in both of her divisions.
I think Nia Blackman and Maria Raffato are both like interesting newcomers to be in the mix, you know, and could see both of them, you know, have a run, you know, have a day, or just like make a name for themselves out there and have a sick moment or two, you know. So I'm excited to see both of them as well. But anyone else stand out to you guys? Anybody else?
No, yeah, I think this is
all we got.
Yeah, that's everything. No, and then we can just talk about the absolute divisions.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, obviously, would love to see like a Mika versus Marigali, you know, Dante in the absolute division. Gary Tonin probably jumps in the absolute division again.
Praying Fabricio gets his name in there again.
Fabricio again, you know. Maybe
I want to see
Big Dan.
Bedoni back in there.
Who?
Bedoni back in there. I thought
Yep,
it was really
true.
cool seeing him jump in last time.
Yeah.
Marigali's been adamant that this is the
Absolute's
year
his.
he double golds this year, right? So obviously we'll see Marigali in the absolute, but
I don't mean to shock anyone, but Nicholas Marigali is very confident heading into this tournament.
Yeah, very confident.
so excited overall for this ADCC. We were gonna show a little Roots trailer, but I think we can skip it because I'm not gonna lie, I got to take my scooter to Scooter 9. My boys over at Scooter 911.
Oh, the boys?
Yeah, I got the.
You gonna
boys.
bring it to the
I'm
boys?
taking it to my boys over
Hell
at Scooter
yeah,
911.
Scooter 911's good people.
Yeah, I got an appointment with them. If you're ever here in Austin, Texas, and you need help with your scooter or anything scooter related, then hit up
Yes.
the boys at Scooter 911.
Say what's up to Chuck for me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll probably be at the shop just talking scoots with the boys, you know. So I had to
Lucky.
schedule this because they had a bunch of big bikes in there, you know, the Mantou 170s and whatnot, taking up shed space. So I got to run over there and drop my scooter off. But Roots is out now, episode 4, right? It's live.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, you can
live on FloGrappling.
You can watch episodes 1 and 2 on the YouTube channel, but then the rest of them, 3 and 4, are out on FloGrappling.com. They're free on FloGrappling.com. I don't want to see any comments about
7 episodes
you
total.
gotta do this, do that. Yeah, right. Just go to FloGrappling.com, learn how to navigate the site, find the videos, and then watch them and enjoy them, and then message Reed and tell them how much you liked them and how much you loved the
Let us
Roots,
know.
as well as Reed Connell, the director.
Nobody better than the Roots. So just easy watching, fun watching the boys kind of go from little tykes to grappling superstars, and obviously, you know, seeing Cade kill it in MMA and everything that those guys are going to do. Sky's the limit. So yeah, jump on board, check out the Roots. Bunch of good surf scenes and stuff.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the ADCC Update Show. Remember, August 17th and 18th, Las Vegas, Nevada at T-Mobile Arena. That's where it's all going down. The big show's 47 days away, and we'll see you guys in the next one.